Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third round of the Penguin RC Sim Sportscar Challenge. This week, we have the Austin Grand Prix brought to you courtesy of SethRawlsDesign.com. I'm Ray Kingsbury, the inaugural champion of the series, and I'm here with the familiar voice of Mike Berry. I'd like to thank Sim Racer Coin for their continued support of NASA and Majors Garage for powering our drivers.
And thanks for the cue in there, Ray. Here we are in Austin. I think it's our second trip here in the Penguin RC Sim Sports Car Challenge thingy. And it's obviously the last time we were here 2 seasons ago, we had a really interesting battle, both M and Pro, back when we were both using the GT3 and the GTE. It brought an end to Christian Challoner's 16 race winning streak at the hands of, I believe, Peter Houston there. And I believe, Ray, you were in contention for the win there in the pro category, weren't you?
I might have been in the contention for like top 7 or 8 out of 10 cars. This was probably one of my worst tracks that season, but one of my favorite tracks. Unfortunately, I just didn't hit the balance right on the Corvette for the track, but this is a lovely track. I've raced it a lot in IndyCar, and you know, it's one of those tracks you either love it or you hate it. And I started to hate it, but then I really loved it once I got to know it.
Yeah, it's truly such an interesting track. Obviously, broke ground in 2011, was finished in 2012, held the first race, the U.S. Grand Prix, brought back for the first time since 2007 here, formerly at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, our producer Chad Irvine's home track. And it's hosted basically everything, every series in America since then. You know, IndyCar, IMSA, Grand Am, ALMS, even had the V8 supercars, and most recently NASCAR made a trip here with their triple header, which it's kind of similar to which was a bit of an interesting race, very comparable to, if you're in the Northeast right now, those are the rains we got last night.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking about all the different cars or the series that I've run here, Mike, and you're right, there really is a laundry list. I do think GT cars are some of the most interesting here. This is a track that has many different types of corners, hairpins, sweepers. It has a very flowy S section. So is there a spot, and long straightaways, so is there a spot for every car here? I don't know. What I do know is Cody Crosgrove has gone to the top, but Kevin Fanning has just pipped him. So we've got some interesting qual laps coming in here.
Yeah, spoke a little bit too soon there, Ray. Yeah, we've got a couple guys coming in. See, it's about a 2-minute 13-second lap, I believe. I can't. Let me see if I can.
We're seeing a little quicker than that. We got 205s coming.
205s. All right, I think.
Throwing
I'm
it down.
thinking in GT. Sorry, I'm thinking in like GT4 and like TCR. That's the last time I think I raced this track. But yeah, 205 right now is being set by Mike Jandy. That's gonna move him right to the top of the board. But yeah, also just going back to the track, I know you said you were bringing up all the things. One of the magic things about this circuit is it basically borrows elements from different tracks. Like the S's, that's Magus and Beckett's. The hairpins, those could be, those are just kind of hairpins. Those don't really have anything. But you have Hockenheim, you have Turkey Turn 8, you have, and even then, it's like this track manages to bring so much originality, especially with that amazing Turn 1, which I believe is an 133-foot climb.
Yeah, I was going to say that thing is iconic. I don't really know. Is that borrowed from another track?
I don't believe it is. I think it's original.
It kind of reminds me of Red Bull Ring Turn 1, but in like the opposite direction.
It's like the metal version of Red Bull Ring.
Yeah. We were just speaking about Michael Janney going to the top. He is just barely ahead of Christian Challoner right now. Mike is leading the championship. I don't know. We think Christian's got anything in that McLaren?
I'd say he probably has a decent chance. Yeah, I mean, Challoner obviously two-time champion here. Janney's a one-time. It's like, definitely can't count either of them out. Forgive me if I'm not exactly, up to date here. Obviously I kind of got pulled in here, but yeah, Challoner and Janney, they're both, I think they're both very even though Challoner had the advantage last season. I think Janney's really taken the time during the relatively short off season we have to, really recover and like try and figure out what's Challoner's weakness, and he's definitely working to his advantage.
Well, I know for a fact that Michael put in probably too much practice if that's possible, because I asked him to race that crazy IndyCar race that we were in last night, and he said he didn't want to because I think he needed to stay in the groove for the sports car race. He was really feeling a groove. I can't blame him. That was a great race last night, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I mean, it's proving that what he's doing, keeping his head down, is working. And it's working for his teammates, too. Cody Cosgrove in 6th in the points, and Steve Lane in 8th.
Yeah, impressive. I mean, very impressive runs that they're having right now. I mean, if we take a look at the driver standings right now, I don't know if we're able to pull those up or not. Okay, we're not able to. So, you know, you're just gonna have to listen very well for all of our viewers at home. That's the IndyCar Championship. Oopsie, hold on.
Yeah, Michael's got 100 points. He's swept both rounds, and Christian's come in 2nd. So it's 100 and then 80 for Christian, and then actually Matt Kingsbury is 3rd with 55 points. So the gap between 1st and 3rd is basically double. Yeah, that's quite the split. But between 3rd and P8 is only an 11-point differential. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and then if we look over the AM category, it's like, I don't know if you did you just say that? I had some stuff going on in the background. If you didn't, okay, great. Yeah, so going over to the AM category, I mean, that's a really tight battle right now. We have Kevin Fanning right now, 52 points. Cody Cosgrove is only 2 points back with 50, and then Steve Lane and Jack Belton are 8 points back and 16 points back, respectively. So this is going to be a pretty tight battle if it holds.
Yeah, it really is. Remember, Cody he's an AM driver, but he was on the overall podium last week. He came out ahead of multiple pro drivers. You know, Matt Kingsbury in that Porsche in the same car as Fanning, Cosgrove, but he was able to come out ahead of him. He spoke to how much Michael Janney has helped him improve as a driver. And also David Schofield for the Spark team. They recently switched over to the Ferraris. He's in P6 right now, looking pretty good. But he's another driver that did not beat Cody Cosgrove last week. So, and we're seeing Fanning and Cosgrove, again, those two that are battling for the AM lead, are ahead of both those pro drivers.
Indeed they are. And real quick, I do want to take a moment to say Janney's jumped out to a 2/10 lead in the almost 2/10 lead in timings over Challenger. Before it was, I believe, like only like 1.110. Yeah, 0.110. And now it's about 0.15, so I don't know if Janney got a draft there, if he was getting the slipstream. Slipstream is going to be very important in qualifying here because you have that, I think, almost about. And just also to bring it up, they were 1,000. Producers saying they're 1,000s apart in practice. I don't know if that's an earlier practice or not because I do not see that. I'm seeing about an 8/10 difference in Janney's favor. So, you know, thanks for your wrong information, Chad.
Yeah, I'm seeing 2/10 of a second. Sorry.
Yeah. We have about 4 minutes left to qualifying right now, or 5 minutes actually. I'm bad at reading. Janney and Challenger, Fanning, Cosgrove, and Kingsbury, your top 5 right now. Not a pretty good start here for Janney. If Janney can hold on to this, I feel like he hasn't been the better driver these last 2 races, but you know, you can never. It's always good to have the pole, have that extra assurance. You get the jump off. It's an hour-long race now, which is something I'm not used to. We're going to see actually a pit stop, which is something I've been clamoring for years, or for as long as I've been here. I think it hasn't already, and it is going to make great racing here.
Yeah, so, you've been a huge advocate for the longer races. I know that you've been really looking forward to that. So we've got them, man. Let's see what happens. I personally, I liked the sprint format. It just made it interesting. I really enjoyed just kind of seeing what would happen, and with the inverted grid and all that. That always really interested me. But you know, we're out here with this new format, and it's produced really good racing. So it's proved me wrong.
Indeed it has. Yeah, let me think. Where were we? Unfortunately, not much. Unfortunately, we can't really talk about much drama happening in qualifying right now. You know, it's a pretty drama-free session. Challenger is he in the picture? No, he's actually on a hot lap, right? Is he on a hot lap or an out lap? Check. We're looking at him right now. He's actually on a. This is a hot lap right now. Yeah. I think if we take if his third lap was the out lap, which no, I think it wasn't. Okay, I'm gonna say this is an out lap right now because I did see him pull in on the lap before it on my replay. So yeah, he's coming around the what I'm calling the Hockenheim section. He's gonna come to where Turkey turn 8 is and USA turn 16, 18, 17 and 18. You know, and we'll see if he's gonna get there in time. He's gonna be able to start this lap. Is all gonna be about like, can he make it count? He doesn't have any drafting help, I believe, in front of him. Next car is David Schofield, about 10 seconds up the road, or 10 seconds up the road. So
Yeah, I'm not
he's on his
sure
own.
about Challoner. You know, a tenth and an odd there. Okay, I misspoke. Challoner has got a tenth and an odd on Janney now. So will Michael be able to respond? He is halfway through a lap, so he'll have enough time to finish this one and then another. I'm not sure if he's on an out lap right now or not, but he should have time for one more lap at least.
Yeah, believe this is this is his out lap. So this is his chance now to make one. No, wait, no, sorry, this is his this is his this is his hot lap right now. He's going kind of slow here. He does have the draft in front of him. That's the Lamborghini of Mike McCullen. Let's see if he can take advantage of that. I don't think he's going to get much for this lap, but if he can get it coming out of the S's.
Oh, I beg to disagree with you, Mike. This is Michael Janney. He's going to take advantage of everything. And I wouldn't be surprised if he... Oh, okay, he gave it up to him, but I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled a huge toe down this straightaway and managed to, get a little advantage.
Let's take a look at that time there. 2:04.722, up by 2/10.
The qualifying in this series is as interesting as the racing.
Indeed it is.
He's a little squirrely into one there. Who said there was no drama?
I said there was no drama as our producers, telling me. Thank you, Chad, for that. I'll take the L for that. I'll hold that. This has become very intense right now. Christian Challoner, we're gonna take a look at him. He's actually coming back through turn 17 now on his second lap. Tires are gonna be a little bit different now. Let's see if he can, play. Let's see if he can maybe get those 2/10 back. He's about 1.8. He needs that 1.9 now, or 0.19.
I mean, Christian's looking really, really good in that McLaren. He's got it rotating super well, maybe a little too well as he gets the back end stepping out in the last corner there. Oh my gosh, this is close.
Not quite gonna be able to knock off Michael Janney. He's got one more chance to do it. Does he have the fuel to make it though? I mean, you imagine they're gonna. Usually we aim for 2 laps or so for your fuel. If you aim for 3, then he's gonna be good. But he's really got to take
the fuel load in the GT3 cars doesn't make so much of a difference for 1 or 2 clicks. I think he's gonna have the fuel here, but he did just clobber those curbs, at least in my opinion. So if he could pull this last lap together, he might be in for it. He's really driving off the rears in that thing, and that is not easy to do in that McLaren. He's pulled it off, so he's given up that last lap.
So yeah, I guess Michael Janney will be your pole sitter, barring any crazy upsets. Let's go through the rest of the field right now. Right behind him is going to be is Christian Challoner, obviously, 0.05 behind him. Then behind him, a second and a third back is Kevin Fanning. Cody Cosgrove is only about 2/10 behind him. David Schofield. Yeah, David Schofield right there is about 2 seconds back. There's Steve Lane. He's about 10th behind him. Matt Kingsbury, not too far back, about 200 back there. Then it's Vincent L. Do you want to try that one, Ray?
The Herbier.
The Herbier, thank you. The Herbier, great last name.
Yeah.
Honestly, like really
very
cool.
French Canadian.
very French Canadian. Shout out to our friends up north.
His teammate is Scott Corbin, and I'm noticing Scott is listed as a pro driver. I believe we did this last week too. We put the wrong transponder in Scott's car. Scott is an AM driver, so the very good qualifying effort from Scott in P11.
Indeed.
All right, Mike, this is where we choose who's going to win, and I have to choose somebody different than you. So honestly, for once, I really can't pick between the two. Do you want first dibs?
I don't know. I mean, Christian. I mean, Jenny's kind of the odds-on favorite right now, but you never count out Christian. You never do. It's something I've learned through the 2 seasons of broadcasting I did. Yeah, you never count Christian out, and I think I'm gonna have to go with him to say he can take this. It's just all gonna be about can he play the pitch strategy right, I think, and just hold on to Jenny's rear.
I'm gonna go bold here. Challoner and Janney get crashed in turn 1. Kevin Fanning wins the race.
That is bold, very bold. That is that real. Yeah, I mean, come to. Thanks for the DM there. I'll be fixing that for a second.
Yeah, it's bold. It's bold. We'll go with it.
Anyway, so yeah, we have 30 seconds left. I don't think is there anybody left on the track now? Curtis Critchley is sitting in pit lane right now. He's just I think he's one guy who hasn't crossed the line to end this session yet. That's the only guy I can actually get a reading on. So
yeah, we've got about 10 seconds until the cars hit the grid. We got Michael Janney sitting on pole for the Austin Grand Prix here, and Christian Challoner following him up with less than 4/100ths of a second or 5/100ths of a second between them. That McLaren on P2. Kevin Fanning, the first AM driver in P3. Cody Crosgrove P4. David Schofield P5.
And then looking back there in P6, we have Steve Lane, Matt Kingsbury, Vincent L'Herbier, Harley Moss, Curtis Critchley, Scott Corbin, and Brandon Lambert would be your top 12. And then looking back, we look back, you're not going to be able to see this, but I can. Ben Mounier, Cody Erdman, Tim Brokaw, Mike McCullen, Seth Rawls, Kevin Moran, Josiah Wilbers, and Jonathan Diggs will round out your 20-car field for tonight's race.
Indeed, it's a good field for tonight's race, Mike. One driver that's shocking me just a tiny bit. Seth Rawls with a 2:11.1. That's pretty far off the pace. I don't know if Seth just didn't get out there and get a clean lap, but we've seen Seth really up towards the front in these races, and I am looking at his time. That was his first lap. He didn't get a second lap in, so I don't know what happened to Seth. Maybe he had to run and do something real quick. He's got a great-looking livery on his car, but yeah, he's all the way back in P17.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember right now how Seth was definitely in the first race we had in the AM category. I can't remember exactly where he finished, but I mean, barring anything that actually happened outside the sim, it'll be interesting to see if this was just maybe a lack of experience with the track. I know he was a couple hours away in Fort Worth for our race yesterday, so it's gonna be very interesting to see. Yeah, did he maybe not get enough practice tonight?
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. He was pretty fast last night in the Indycar or the Championship Series. My apologies, everybody over in Indiana that's angry at me. It was a good race. Seth had a good showing. A lot of people had a good showing last night. I had a great time. I know Chad had a good time commentating it. At least the second race. First one was a little bit interesting. But yeah, I mean, we're here at another part of Texas, here in Austin, and another beautiful circuit with another great grid of cars. Very excited to see how this is going to turn out. We got an hour on tap here for the Austin Grand Prix. Mike, thanks for joining me for this crazy ride. I'm looking forward to the predictions. I know you've got Christian Challoner on tap. I'm still going with my main man, Kevin Fanning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to go with Mike Janney there. As we are coming through the Hockenheim section right now, we're about to come to the turkey clone now as we're going to see them coming through. Michael Janney right there. That Porsche pace car looking so nice there at the iRacing. Shout out to iRacing for obviously providing the service that we use to race tonight. They're not even sponsoring this event, but it's always good to build goodwill with him. And Christian's a staff member, so we'll build goodwill with him, and maybe he'll bless us with good content.
Speaking of good content, I'm waiting for the Corvette to become a GT3, and you're going to see me out there again.
That will be very exciting.
Corvette. The McLaren was a fun car to drive. The problem was it was so fun that I couldn't control it.
Yeah, I mean, you see how many McLarens we have compared to what we had before. As we're about to come through the last corner now to start this race, Michael Janney's going to lead us to green here, coming through turn 20. Yeah, turn 20. And here we go. And they're kind of going slowly there. Yeah, he's holding them for a while. He's holding. Yeah, he's
The
just
late
kind of
green
there he
here.
goes.
It is a late green. There's a start
Green.
zone.
Green flag's out, coming into turn 1. They all spread out. What was that? Not quite 3 wide. There they are, 3 wide into turn 1. Look at how almost
Argy Burgy there from Fanning. Oh, they're 3 wide. They're 4 wide in the middle of the pack. There are cars sideways. They somehow all got out of that. That BMW, I want to say it was Curtis Critchley, was sideways coming through turn 1. Matt Kingsbury has pushed wide into David Schofield.
Oh, and we got guys going around the S's right now. Big wreck. It looks like that is the... Who was that?
It was David Schofield in the Ferrari. Matt got over the curb, pushed wide into him. Too wide wasn't going to work there when you got the big yellow bollards. It just is what it is. This type of track.
Definitely not. We're looking at the replay now. We're going to see what happens. Oh, yeah, just unfortunate. Now we're going to get a better look at it now. Yeah, there's that Ferrari. Matt just, just tried to make it too wide where you really can't do that. That's why you don't see guys going side by side through Mackett's and Beckett's.
Yeah, you know, there was another victim to that, and that was Tim Brokaw. I don't know if Tim got caught up in something else. There was indeed a follow-up incident after that. Tim got loose all by himself, following the cars through. He spun it in front of Mike McCullen and collected Mike McCullen. Mike McCullen's got a bent rear wing. Tim Brokaw's got a whole right side of his car bent up, and just in front of him is now David Schofield. So those 3 guys going to need to do some work here. David's car's just got a little bit of a bent fender. David's a good driver. He'll climb up. We know that, but you know, how far can you climb up with aero damage at a track like this? We'll find out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be, it's going to be a challenge, especially the track with such long straightaways and such high-speed corners. Right now, if we look towards the front right now, Michael Janney and Christian Jauner have pulled out to about a 5-second lead already. So obviously those two setting the pace. They come through turn 20 again to complete lap 1.
Good battle on track between Curtis Critchley and Vincent L'Herbier. Critchley, I think, just made the pass, but L'Herbier is not giving up in that Ferrari.
What a nice car Critchley has there. Critchley, I believe, is that's the team Watson Racing right there. Shout out to James Watson. He'll be joining us. He will be joining. I won't be on the track there, but he will be coming to the Championship Series in 2 weeks' time. Debuting once RAL finished, which was last night. So we're happy to have him there, and and he's also a rallycross driver. And yeah, that too.
James was my teammate last season in rallycross. He multiple times apologized to me for not doing well. I just had fun watching his pink car go around the track. It was a real honor to race with him for the first half of that season and get him into the series, and now he's a huge supporter of NASA. So I consider that an investment well spent.
Yeah, look at you developing the future talents in NASA.
I don't know if talent's the right word.
But yeah, basically, it is James we're talking about. If we can look towards the front right now, Christian Jauner actually has a decent run on Janney coming down to straightaway. He's about 5/10 back. Let me see. I hope we're not missing any other battles right now. It's basically single file, I believe, all the way back to... Yeah, single file all the way back to about 15th right now. Yeah, Janney seems to be a little bit weaker on the straightaways, but he's a little bit stronger in some of the high-speed corners. I mean, you imagine he just has maybe a little bit more downforce than Christian has?
You know, it's really hard for the McLaren. It's one of those cars that has no serious weaknesses, Mike, but it just has no serious strengths. You see how much stronger the Porsche is in these long sweeping corners, and that really is the McLaren's bane. I found the McLaren did really well at tracks where it could kind of hit curbs and use them to its advantage. Sonoma was a good track for the McLaren, for example. There's not a lot of long corners there. There's the one sweeper and the one long downhill corner, and that downhill corner was the worst corner for that car. So, yeah, it makes sense to me that Challenger's having a hard time. You see Janney really drives it in a lot shallower than him, and is able to get the rotation still.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I mean, you can almost call the McLaren a jack of all trades, master of none. It's such a quick car. I mean, it does want to kill you sometimes, but then again, like half the GT3s are like that.
Yeah, you can see he does really well if he the Porsche is hard to recover if you don't get the nose set right. Janney just came off the throttle wrong there, and then back started to come around, and he had to really give up speed. You could see Challoner, on the other hand, if he gets a little bit of understeer, he just puts the throttle into it and lets the rear end rotate. And then if he starts to over-rotate, he lifts off. So yeah, the McLaren wants to kill you, but it's a predictable, you know, way to drive it. You know, you don't have to lose too much speed to gather it back up. There's like a band, there's a performance band in it, is what I'm trying to say, Mike. A little bit of an edge, but there is still a spot where you can manipulate it.
Yeah,
and if you figure out how to set it up, you can make it wider.
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to quickly look back to the battle for 4th right now between I believe that's the 2 Matco Tools cars of or are they split off? Formerly Matco Tools cars. It's actually Livewire SimSport. Yeah, the 2 Porsches right there. Steve Lane and Cody Cross with 66 and 67 respectively. Teammates with Jenny, may I add. So yeah, I mean they're having a pretty interesting battle right now. They're kind of falling back to Kevin Fanning, but Fanning's really setting the pace.
Yeah.
Well, he's falling. Yeah, they're falling.
Man.
Yeah, Kevin Fanning right there in that Matco Tools machine, the actual Matco Tools car. So you know, hopefully I'm not gonna get crucified for that.
P6, my brother Matt there. You know, a little crinkle in the left front fender. No surprise. The shark teeth bit someone this race again. You know, he'd call himself living up to his reputation, I'm sure. I'm not saying anything he wouldn't. But decent run for him in P6.
Yeah, ooh, Jenny went just a tad bit, a little bit wide there, and that did allow Challoner to close in by about a car length. It's just going to be about, like, with the aero push and the way that the McLaren handles itself through the S's, can it hold on to that? I mean, this is the closest Challoner's been in a while.
Yeah, look at him, he's closing. The problem is, with the McLaren, is that it does not draft as well as you would want it to with the launch off the corners, the hairpins. The Porsche does do well on those hairpins. We're looking at Cody Cosgrove and Steve Lane and Matt Kingsbury. They're really starting to mix it up. Curtis Critchley is there. He is closing in. He's running 207s. These guys are in the 208s. Lane got by Cosgrove. He didn't make it too difficult for him. There's a little damage to the back of Cosgrove's machine. I don't know if he slammed the curb too hard or what.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a question. I mean, I know back in season 1 we did actually have a legitimate instance of team orders. That's not really team orders at that point. So that's just saying, hey, okay, you're my teammate. I'm not going to race you as hard. You can go on by, and I'll see if I have anything for you later on.
Yeah,
but for now,
we don't have a prohibition on team orders anymore after that season. I'm not a fan of team orders. I really did not like the team orders when a certain driver pulled down the pits to let his teammate go by on the last lap. To me, that was very blatant. And really outside the scope of what we were trying to accomplish here. But I really don't mind, like, you know, your teammate's coming up on you and, you know, he's clearly faster and just letting him go. There's no problem with that. That's not team orders, that's just not racing your teammate.
Yeah. You know, I feel like there's always going to be that certain level of respect or extra, like, carefulness you're going to have with your teammate, even going all the way from the virtual world to the real world. I mean, you know, you see it all the time in Formula 1, even though that's...
Yeah,
that's
Michael was my teammate last season, and at Belle Isle he caught up to me for the race lead after getting caught behind all those lap cars, and you know, I could have fought him. I bet you if I did, it would have been hard for him to pass. It was the type of track you really couldn't pass. But I was just looking at my you know, I was listening to my crew chief, and he's telling me in the standings, you know, Challoner's coming. So for me, there was no point in holding Michael up. It was, you know, he's my teammate, he's faster than me, and if I hold him up, somebody else is going to catch up, and that's not going to help either of us if we're having a three-way battle. So I let him go, and then I managed to gap to Christian and the guys behind. So, like, you know, that's like a strategic move by, I think, Cody and Steve there. Steve's actually gone off, and Cody and Matt passed him again. So I think it was a strategic move. I'm thinking, you know, go through, I'm not going to fight you. But now that's been undone. I don't know where that happened.
Yeah, it's definitely you know, not ideal for.
Beautiful shot.
Gonna see if we can get back to that replay. Yeah,
watch these.
This is broke on Morin right now. Battle for 14th on the grid. To Philip Schofield, I believe, is actually. Oh wait, no, he's not even battling this. That's one spot ahead. So to the right one.
Yeah, David's still trying to recover. Remember, he started up in P7, I believe, and got move down the grid after some
Oh,
contact.
look at that send there. And we're looking, yeah, we saw that going into the hairpin right now. We're going to move right ahead to the battle between Jani and Challenger. This battle has just not really stopped, and we wouldn't want it to stop. It's such an exciting fight we're having right now. I mean, just what, five car lines maybe separating them at most. Jani's got a little bit more of a gap, but he's been getting that every single lap through that section. Oh, look at him sliding it there. Oh, lost a lot of speed. Scrubbed that off as he's coming into turn 20 now. Challenger all the way on his rear.
Matt Kingsbury just sent the car to a four-wheel slide trying to catch up to Cody Crossgrove. He didn't quite exceed track limits in any egregious way, but he definitely lost the front end and the back end at the same time on that car. That must have been scary. I think that kind of sums up what I was talking about with the Porsche before, where if you lose it, you do lose a lot of time.
Yeah, and definitely. It's just, I mean, I haven't driven the car yet, but it seems like it's a little bit of edge of your seat, and yeah, definitely. I've heard it's basically the most unique Porsche we have, or most unique GT in terms of the way it drives. Maybe second only, maybe close to the way the McLaren or the Ford drives.
Yeah, I really like the Ford, actually. It was a car that I was actually considering running last season. The reason I did not is I couldn't get the grips with the gearbox. You know, when you brake with the Ford, the front feels very soft, and the gearbox has decent gaps in it, which makes sense for an older GT car that is really built for straightaway speed that you're going to want to maximize your gears. So when I was downshifting, I was having trouble getting the car to rotate unless I used the gearbox, and the problem was I was over rotating when I used the gearbox. So I really liked it at tracks like Spa, but we were driving North American tracks, and that ruled it out for me.
Definitely. I haven't stopped. I've been keeping an eye on this battle we have up at the lead. Is still, I mean, Challenger just keeps trying to gain. He just cannot do anything. I mean, every time Challenger will gain, Jani will just move ahead just that extra little bit. And it's just, he's not losing any time. But
Matt Kingsbury and Cody Crossgrove, there was a peak, a dive, and a jive, but not a pass. And we're looking on board as they come through that Hockenheim Ring section here. One of my favorites.
That's the Hockenheim Ring.
Hockenheim. Oh my gosh, too many tracks. One of my favorite sections on the track. It looks a little deceiving from a commentator's perspective or a broadcast perspective. From a driver's perspective, it's just very technical. Like there's a couple different lines you can run there. Nobody ever passes in there because it's very tight, but it's very easy to get caught out and make a mistake.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's a very fun section. Almost 2 hairpins, basically adding to. I'd honestly say there are maybe 5 hairpins on this track, which has got to be like a record. I mean, if you're talking about the London E-Prix or something, it's stupid hairpins.
We do have our first taker on the pit stops, and that's Vincent Lebier. Very interesting. A little different strategy calls tonight, I have a feeling. We noted that the fuel tanks last a little longer at this track. The drivers can actually make it without stopping in the pits. So you could pit at any time and not really have a disadvantage. Because they don't actually need to add fuel. So they just need to stop in the box. That's the rule for tonight. Just stop in the box. This is different than any other race we're going to see this season. Not by intent, just by design of what we're seeing out here on the track. And these guys are going to be able to go the full hour. So you're not going to see any refueling tonight. You're just going to see a quick stop. And Christian, if he feels like he's faster, he could box at any given moment. And that would be real interesting to see.
Oh, he's right. Real quick, sorry, going back to Christian, he's right on the bumper. He is the closest he was been. He was actually, given a little bit of
you had to check up
giving a little bit of
there.
bumping and rubbing there. Yeah, just if he's got to move, this might be the next lap that he's going to make it. They both set their fastest laps here in 2:04.7s. Basically doing their qualify. Actually, Jani equaling his. Wait, no, he didn't. That's wrong. No, actually, no, he had a. Actually, no, he didn't. I was looking at the qualifying time. All right, forget. Retract that.
They were good laps, 2:05.3s. They were real close to their Q laps, only half a second off.
They were fast, and they're both they're holding pace. But Christian actually did lose a little bit of time coming across the line there, but I think he was able to get most of it back. I don't know if Challenger or Jani slipped up a little bit.
Yeah, Kevin is having a great race though in P3. We're not going to get to talk about Kevin a lot, but I just want to highlight Kevin. Great job, Kevin. Go get him. Get on that podium, man. Sorry, there's no
Earn
battle.
that
We would
paycheck.
look at you more, you know. But Matco Tools boys should be proud of their guy there. He's leading the M standings for a reason. Kevin was racing with me in GT Pro. You know, we called it Pro. You know, it was really just the GTE class. And he beat me at this track actually, quite handedly. I was a little embarrassed because, you know, I was one of the quicker drivers going into the beginning of the season, and these guys all caught up to me. I'm not blaming the car, but it was the car. I'm a true racer. I can't. Whoa! David Schofield losing the back out of turn 1. He made a nice save, though. I got to give him credit. But Seth Rawls is closing in on him. There could be a battle on
Oh
tap
yeah,
for
look
us.
at that. Oh,
Little
real
bit of a,
talent there to keep
little
that
bit of a
out of the fence
slide.
there. There's
The
Seth
magic
Rawls.
2-foot saving.
And let's talk about Seth Rawls right behind there, the namesake of the race. As we're looking at the
take a look
cockpit
at
now
that
of the.
thing.
Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
he just pushed the curb a tiny bit on the inside and got on the throttle too hard. What a save, though.
Yeah. I couldn't do that.
You're right about that, Mike.
Oh. I didn't do it last night in the IndyCar. Had the almost the exact same thing happen.
2 feet, Mike, 2 feet. And we are looking at a battle here. Matt Kingsbury and Cody Crossgrove. That is for position number 4. It'll be interesting to see if Matt is being bottlenecked by Cody here. You can see Cody's running defensively. If Matt gets through, I do wonder, can he catch Kevin Fanning? Both of these guys are currently running faster than Kevin Fanning. It's a long race, though.
Yeah, I do wonder if Kevin's maybe taking it a little bit, you know, taking his time. Oh, real quick, Christian Chowner up 3/10 by Janney on that last lap.
That's awesome. Great,
Yeah, he's
great racing up front.
yeah.
Oh, mistake by Janney. Challoner's got the run. Can he open up the corner through the S's and close the gap? We do know this is Challoner's strongest section of the track, leading through here and then into the hairpin down at the Hockenheim section. Challoner didn't quite set that up right. He touched a little bit of the yellow curb, but he does close in the middle of the sector here. Really interesting to see the difference in line. I don't know if that's just Janney's idea of defending or if that's just what the car has to do. But Challoner is starting to close up this gap on Michael Janney. But look at the launch that Porsche gets out of that corner.
Yeah, just that extra, you know, German engineer, and I guess as here Challoner's been just taking that much wider line, really trying to get as much momentum off. He's actually gonna be a little bit, he might be a little bit worse off than he was before. He's got a decent run though coming down here. Yeah, look at the momentum he's got. You can just tell by the difference.
Yeah, I don't know if Challoner's doing that to set up a draft down the straightaway, or if that's just the line Michael takes to shorten up the corner a little because the Porsche can rotate a little better on the brakes. I don't know. I've never driven the Porsche. I can't imagine, unless he just wants to cover the insides, so Challoner can't take advantage of McLaren's brakes.
Yeah, we're gonna see if Challoner can is Challoner gonna try ascend here? Or is he just gonna be patient? We know that's one of his strong suits. I mean, he's a Coke driver. He's used to driving long races, or an ex-Coke driver at least.
He's definitely got a wider line than Janney, and you can see even through, he doesn't open it up as much, but he just kind of comes out of the throttle. He doesn't throw it over that curb, just nice and consistent through, and then out wide on the exit. While you're seeing Janney, you know, he sets up over the curbs. He, you know, he brakes for the hairpins and turns in just a touch earlier.
One thing that I do find interesting is that Challoner is like, when he's going through what's basically Turkey Turn 8, he's taking a lot shallower line, kind of defying what we were saying compared to him and Janney.
Turkey Turn 8 is definitely not this turn.
17 and 18. 17 and 18.
Right, okay, yeah.
Pull that track map up.
I'm sorry, Mike. You know, it's a lot of turns here to memorize.
Yeah. It's the one that looks like someone's, if you look at the map, it's like you see how it looks like someone's holding the track with like a mitten. It's where the 4 fingers are.
That is one way to describe a track map. Michael Berry, ladies and gentlemen. Told you his voice was familiar.
Yes. Anyway.
Find your mitten here.
It's on the left side of the track if you're looking at. Think about it. Yeah, if you're looking at the way the map is oriented in iRacing, then you'll see it.
You're talking about like an oven mitt here then.
Yeah, we're talking like an oven mitt, yeah.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Real quick. Okay, we gotta stop talking about mitten because we actually have a run here by Christian Chowner. He is the closest he's ever been. He's actually gonna look to the inside, coming down the straightaway, up and down those hills.
I've not been this excited since qualifying. He's got it done, boys.
Dude, look at that move he made. He waited 20 minutes to make that move. Patient. We're on lap 10 right now, and he took that chance and he made it pay off. Amazon Music is coming up on my screen. You can go away. Thank you very much. As now they come through Hockenheim. This is the oven mitt I'm talking about.
We're in the oven mitt.
That's.
I was gonna say that it's very hot in here. I better get out of the kitchen, because something is cooking with this battle.
I think we just get none of the.
Janie's wiggling.
Real quick, none of the corners on this track actually have names, so I think we've just named part of the track.
We've just named it the oven mitt.
Yeah, I think that's gonna catch on.
I'm gonna send that over to what's his face that does the track guides. Not Robin Miller. Rest in peace, Robin Miller. Right?
Yeah, God
did Robin Miller do the track maps, track guides?
I don't think so.
For IndyCar, who does Lee Diffie?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lee Diffie does it. Yeah, we're gonna send it. Whenever they go back, that's the new name of those corners. I mean, I'm kind of tired of calling it Hockenheim and Turkey.
We're going into T1, T2. No, you're going into the oven mitt. T1 should be called the hill climb. Call it Mount Washington.
Or what's the tallest peak in Texas? That's what we should call it.
Probably the bird's nest or whatever the thing in the middle of the track is.
Guadalupe Peak. I think that's a pretty good name.
Guadalupe Peak. Why is it called Guadalupe Peak?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I was thinking about calling it the Phil Hill Hill.
I'll run with that. The Phil Hill. Oh, I can't even say that fast. All right. Well, let's take a look around the track for some battles. I got Brandon Lambert and Scott Corbin. I don't know if it's a battle, but they're geting close on track. Scott is behind him and he's faster.
I actually do have a battle I got a battle right here for 15th right now. It's a 4-car train. It's gonna be.
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh, you are right. That is a battle. That is a battle and a half.
That's a battle and a war. Ooh, look at that.
The Rico is going to the inside. Harley Moss out of the United Kingdom making a send here on Kevin Moore. Is that Kevin Moran? I think it's Kevin Moran.
Oh, yes, contact made in the act.
We got Mr. Brokaw throwing it around.
Kevin Moran.
Tim, you're going to have to pay for those paint repairs. You do your own. And you could tell Tim's a little bit wounded on straightaway speed.
Yeah, just that.
Or his brake is dragging. I can't tell.
Yeah, just.
No, it's definitely not dragging. Oh, Harley's looking good though. Look at him go.
Yeah, he was clearly the faster guy. He was faster last night too, even. I think I did. I mean, he was being very aggressive last night. He's a real,
Yeah,
he's very quick,
night.
Yeah, very ferocious. Very.
Oh
my God, the spin!
It's Kevin Moran. What a save!
Kevin Moran out of Canada. Spinning around in the oven mitt just got a little bit too hot for him, and they deal with pretty cold temps up there.
The mitts on because that oven was too hot to handle. Okay, I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah, we got it in there.
Been in the pit lane in the middle of that battle, so he's got other ideas for what's going on.
Yeah.
There is a battle going on in front of that though, 3-way battle. Seth Rawls and Vincent LaHerbier, and Cody Erdman is inching up ever so closer.
I mean, if we want to keep moving up, I also got a battle between your brother and Cody Cosgrove right now, and they're coming down the straightaway.
What is happening?
That's gotta run. Yeah,
why
battles
are there so many
just showing up.
All of a sudden?
I'm telling you, when Christian's in the lead, good stuff happens.
Yeah, the oven's done preheating. You're right. Our lovely producer. And you know, the Michael Janney Christian Challoner battle, in case anybody was wondering, is still ongoing.
Yeah.
They're side by side, Vincent Leherbier and Seth Rawls. Cody Erdman taking a peek. He's going to back it off early in the Audi and back it up. Whoa, Vince there almost cut him off, but Cody, nice avoidance. Vince launching it down the straight on Seth here. That Porsche with a beautiful launch. The Ferrari had the better exit. I don't know if he was in a wrong gear or what, or maybe that Porsche is a little trimmed out, but Seth is flying, and here comes the draft with the Ferrari. Vincent Leherbier to the inside. Oh, he is definitely going to clear him. The Porsche trying to cut back, giving him a lot of room. Oh, Erdman's going to take advantage. There's 2 positions now for Rawls. Let's see if Erdman can back this up just a little bit more and maybe take more advantage. He's holding the outside, and
now it's
Rawls
going to become the inside.
Oh, Cody has said, no, thank you. I'm going to come and try that again, and he's through.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Christian in the top 6 old school F1 points is the only non-Porsche. So, you know, we're kind of dealing with this. You know, we're not quite dealing with a spec series here, but we're getting there.
I'm not saying balance of power, but balance of power.
Yeah, you know,
the
funny thing is, Christian's the one in charge of that.
He's aware that is part of the reason why he runs the series. But what I am saying is, I think it was Le Mans. They applied not Le Mans. What was the last big GT3 race they did? They applied 35 kilos. Yeah, they applied 35 kilos, I think it was, of BOP to the Porsche. So that tells you how good it is. And people still drove it.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, good. It's good that Christian is he's probably seeing this right now, and he's like, okay, I know. He's probably thinking, okay, what can we do? I mean, it's obviously going to add weight. He might take some power away, honestly. I mean,
that's what I would do. I mean, I'm watching it walk away from people on the straightaway, and it's not a car that should be the fastest in a straightaway.
I mean, the exception to that rule is Vincent, where he was able to get by Seth Rawls in the Porsche.
Yeah, but that was a lot to do with the draft.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
I mean, that Ferrari's also.
Though Christian Challoner still out in front of that McLaren. Thank you, Christian, for proving that I am completely incompetent in that car. I do love how every time he brakes, Michael Janney has to blink a few times.
I do enjoy the fact
his eyebrows are going to get burned off.
Yeah, I do give some respect to Christian for, you know, driving cars that he just doesn't like that much.
I mean, it makes it interesting.
I mean, he drove the Audi last season. I mean, he still won with it, but you know, he did say no, I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, it just shoots him. Big flames. Wow. That's why I drove the car. I just wanted to look cool doing it.
Just
the Porsche sounds so nice, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
I still think the Lamborghini sounds just a little bit better, but the Porsche also does sound super nice.
The Lamborghini sounds like you hooked a V12 up to it, and it's not a V12.
Yeah, okay. You know what? It was the only thing that kept me going when we won the 24 with it, so.
Awesome. Ben Moynier in the pits from P8. A little bit of a strategy here from Ben Moynier. Early pit stop, only halfway through the race. Now, without having to add fuel, Mike, I don't think we're going to see tire changes. That just doesn't make sense.
No.
Do you think maybe some guys are coming down halfway just to give their tires a little bit of a cool down, right in the middle? Maybe they're like, okay, this is a good time to cool them down.
Breaking it in half is definitely not a bad way to do it.
He's there for a while.
Yeah, he might be taking fuel. Fuel does take a while in these cars.
Yeah, so maybe he did not underfuel his car or overfuel his car. I would have filled it right up to the brim. Interesting. Yeah, maybe
I think it's strategy.
I
think what he was going to do is kind of like the old school F1 strategy, where you'd underfill the car and do multiple stops, like when they allowed refueling.
Fill it to halfway and try. Yeah, but you have to calculate out if the pace advantage and the all that is worth the amount of time you spend filling it up. For me, it's not, but I don't know for sure. That's why I'm in the booth.
Yeah, that's why we're both in the booth. I mean, you think I actually know a thing or two about these cars? No. All
right, so we just missed Matt Kingsbury spinning his car out from P5. Cody Cosgrove had managed to keep the lead. It was just a corner before this, Chad, so if you jump back, you will see it. And Kevin Fanning is still pulling away from these guys in P3.
It's the oven mitt again.
Just overdrove it.
Yes, the oven mitt again. Apparently, it was just a little bit too hot to handle for even a Kingsbury.
Yeah, I mean, I've never spun there. I don't know what Matt's problem is. Cody
Yeah.
Cosgrove just got a little loose out of the last corner. Maybe there is some tire deg on these Porsches. Kevin Fanning, I believe, was just in the pit lane, unless I just missed that. Nope, my apologies. He's not in the pit lane. That was the pace car. They're both white and black Porsches.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, okay. I lost my train of thought there.
Use the pace car for a race car, so I don't blame you. We do have a car boxing, and that is Cody Erdman. Cody Erdman into the pit lane ahead of Seth Rawls and Scott Corbin. Let's see how this shakes out. Am I wrong in saying Scott has already pitted? Yeah, he pitted last lap, 2 minutes and 30-second lap. That was 2:10 in lap for Cody, and Scott ran a 2:08 in lap. So a nice conservative in lap from Cody there. And let's see what Cody runs for his pit out lap. Oh, we're not gonna watch his whole pit. Yeah, that was a real short fuel time compared to what Scott did. So maybe he just put a splash in.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Was he only 3 seconds? I felt longer. Maybe it was somebody else. And Moynier, maybe. 3 seconds was all that Corbin was still for. So Moynier, yeah, he dropped from 8th to 16th. Ooh, and he just clobbered a curb in the S's. His car bounced about 3 feet in the air.
Looks like he's able to keep going unless he's got floor damage, you know.
No, he
That's
should be good. He just tagged it with the left rear, so I think maybe he's okay. There is a battle on the track between Harley Moss and Tim Brokaw still. These guys looking to battle it out just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. But don't count out the battle for the race lead either. It's even a little closer than that one. Michael Janney has caught up to the back of Christian Challoner. They are matching each other for lap times with low 205s. It is only a 4/10 gap for the race lead.
Yeah, indeed it is. I mean, just coming through, what's this, turn 7 and 8, maybe 9 and 10? 9 and 10. There we go, I was close. Yeah, here's turn 10, here's
What
the
are you
turn
doing
11.
if you're a driver, Mike? What are your thoughts? If you're Michael Janney, are you boxing before Christian Challoner? I am
know.
personally.
I don't think, well, I don't know. I think Janney's got to be looking at his lap time. He's got to be seeing, am I losing time in the draft to Christian, and will I come out in clean air? He's not like it's all about that. They've got about a 25-second buffer to Kevin Fanning behind them, and then
Yeah,
Cody
so I
Cosgrove.
guess there's two strategies he can run. He could short pit and try to run faster, or he can wait for Challoner to pit and then try to outpace him on his pit entries, which he's so good at, and hope that he doesn't lose too much time on the next lap. Kevin Morin has pulled the car off the track. Don't know what happened to him, but he is now classified as out of this race.
We will call it a mechanical failure.
I'm going to take a quick look at one of our replays, but yeah, Kevin Morin is out of this race.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at
He
it.
just pulled the car off. Maybe a little oil drip. Maybe the team told him
Overheated.
to retire the car. They want to set this thing up for next week instead.
Yeah, I mean, where are we next week? We are in. I just had it here. We are in. Oh, we're in Indianapolis, the home of Mr. Chad Irvine, our producer, and then we're going to Lime Rock, which I actually might race.
Yeah, we're at Indy in both series, by the way. We're at Indy in the GT series and in the sports car. Indy is my favorite track for road courses, so I'm actually a little tempted. Well, when I say it's my favorite track, I actually like Barber and Lime Rock as well. So it's one of my top 3. I'm a little tempted to jump in the car.
Yeah, it's going to be a...
Yeah, I know. I got to keep Chad company up here. I can't jump in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, I could drive the car and commentate. That is an option.
I suggested that last night to Chad, and he said no.
I don't know why. I'm excellent. I can really verbalize what I'm doing. I mean, you saw me at Sonoma.
Yeah.
I told Big Dog Forrest he was slow.
That was beautiful.
As I passed him on the outside of a sweeper at Sonoma in a McLaren. Well, this battle is never really cooling down. I have a feeling this is going to last quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, just what's this? we just,
Ooh, Janny took a look, but he thought better of it and tucked back in line.
and,
We're now looking at Tim Brokaw and Harley Moss, who just ducked down into the pit lane. Two cars that have got a little bit of damage on them. Harley Moss maybe a little better for the wear.
a little bit shaky. As we see Carly Moss there. Is he the only Audi in the field? I believe. No, there's like three
Erdman,
Audis.
his teammate, yeah.
Yeah, his teammate was Cody Erdman, then it's Harley, and they're not teammates, right?
They are teammates.
They are teammates. Okay. No,
Driver I want to look at, no, just shout out, David Schofield has recovered all the way up to P9. His lap times are looking good. He just broke into the 206s. Good job, David. He is catching up to Brandon Lambert there, and maybe Curtis Critchley, who seems to have worn the front tires off of his BMW just a little bit. I'm really watching him push through the corners.
That's right. I mean, right now the most exciting battle is Challenger and Janny, so I guess we can just not stop talking about that. If there's any people who for some reason have just like a blood feud with Challenger and Janny, they're gonna hate this. But it's a good battle.
Is it possible to hate Challenger and Janny?
I don't think so. I mean, they're both so good. They're both so good people. Such good people.
Yeah. Speaking of Christian, I'm really excited for when Tom Abramitis gets back in the IndyCar series.
Oh, it's gonna be exciting.
Tom, I don't think he knows what's waiting in his cockpit. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
No.
Tom may or may not have Christian's face painted on the placard on the inside of his car.
Oh, that's amazing.
Says Christian Challenger's face, and then it says "Go faster." little cartoon word bubble. I thought it would be inspirational, really motivate him.
Ooh, we have communication from the drivers. I can't hear it. But yeah, Challenger just said something over the comm.
We've got Josiah Wellwood, who is under blue flag conditions, and he's trying to let these other drivers know that he's going to try to get out of their way, just to let them know when he wants it. And it looks like he's going to wait. This is a tough spot. It's such a wide track. I would be moving over, but that's just me. But he's now holding him up.
Admits.
I think he's going to pull it wide on the sweeper here, and that is a good spot to do it. Unless they're boxing here, I don't know what they.
Yeah, that could. Ooh. I don't know.
This is interesting.
Janny's not really gaining much of an advantage here. Here comes Christian. He's taking the inside. Janny's gonna almost look 3 wide on him, but not quite. He's gonna think better of it. He doesn't want to jeopardize both their races. There you go, Josiah Wellwood.
Yeah, I think Josiah was trying to make that easy on them, but he was surprised they weren't closing up on him any quicker.
It shows Josiah Wellwood not exactly lacking in pace.
Another one, Tim Brokaw. Watch out, Timmy B.
Timmy! Oh, and they're going to get by him fine in turn 2.
Yeah, he made that easy
such
on
a good
them.
Turn 2 such a good corner.
Is that the one that's flat out and right-handed? Yeah, I like that one.
That's the one just after turn 1, Ray.
Oh, man, I can't find that on a map. Little battle between Cody Erdman and Ben Moynier. Not sure it's heating up, but they're within arm's reach of each other. Matt Kingsbury down into the pit lane out of P6. Steve Lane has come on by him.
Steve Lane, I believe he hasn't pitted yet, right?
Correct.
He has not, so he's cycle out right around where Matt is when he pits, or I guess Matt will rejoin him, or the correct statement.
Matt is doing a touch of service here.
Probably got a little bit of damage he wants to repair.
None of that surprises me at all.
Yeah, you'd know.
Mm-hmm. You know who we're missing out on the track tonight? Here in Big Dog Forest. And as I'm saying that, Rawls and Moss are side by side.
And Moss is going to hold on to that position there. Rawls actually lost the position there to Harley Moss. But yeah, he didn't, give up without a fight.
No, it's not like either of those drivers to really give up without a fight. We know Harley really loves to drive his cars hard. And, Seth has, been quite competitive in the series. before a little bit of a move to the left by Moss. Is he going to return to the racing line? No, he cannot. Rawls is there. A little deep on the brakes from Moss.
Oh, undercut. Oh, no.
Was looking for it, but Moss is there. He can't drive through him. Well, I mean, he could. It just wouldn't end well for him.
Yeah.
And these two are doing this as Christian Challoner and Michael Janney are just a corner behind them.
Yeah, and just real. I mean, Rawls almost had that run on him. Just a curb kind of put an end to that. If you're looking at the, you're seeing the S is right there. You saw just the difference in time, or the difference in distance, I guess, between Challoner and Janney and Rawls and Moss, and that's going to be interesting. I mean, neither of these guys, both of these two fights are battling for position. So I mean, you'd imagine Moss and Rawls are going to give it up, but these guys are also up here are very aggressive.
So, I don't know when these guys are gonna pit. If I were them, I would get one. I would do something different. Oh, and as I'm saying, that Michael Janney too, the inside of Christian Challoner.
He's gonna get it.
We've got a battle for the position here.
Oh no, they're gonna stay side by side.
Still side by side. Will Michael Janney or Christian Challoner do the opposite and take a pit?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I think whichever they do, they can't follow each other in. I think that's just gonna hurt the two of them. So I mean, whatever one of them does, the other one has to do it. I mean,
yeah, I do agree. They got to mix it up. Am I crazy? I'm looking at the right side of Janney's car. Is it damaged?
Let me
have a little bit of damage there, or is it just the way the livery?
Let me take a get it. Yeah, it's just the paint. I think he looks clean.
It's a good-looking CubeCast logo on the side of that thing.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, of course, we know nothing about CubeCasts. We have Chad Irvine in the booth, though. Completely unrelated, obviously. I don't know why you'd think that they weren't.
I think now's a good time to shout out some of our sponsors.
There you go.
We got Seth Rawls out there. Big shout out to Seth Rawls Designs for sponsoring this race and bringing you guys this broadcast. As usual, big shout out to Penguin RC Sims for supporting our drivers and championship, both the pro and the overall and the amateur championships. Check out Penguin RC Sim. Penguin RC, of course, leader in RC products, and Penguin RC Sim venture into the simulation side of things. As I'm saying this,
yeah, I'm sorry, your plug has got to stop here for a second. We can get back to it. We do have an amazing battle featuring our title sponsor coming as our two leaders are trying to navigate this lap traffic, and they are going to get by it relatively
easy. Camera.
Yeah,
they did make that easy. Those two, that was real nice of them.
We had a little bit of a blink there, but we are back. Battle continues.
Harley and Seth touched.
Contact. It doesn't look like they're going to get much damage, but you got to wonder if maybe a temper on the two of them. But Ray, I know you run. I mean, you know what you're doing here. You're not going to be happy, especially if you see it right now. We have found another battle.
I don't know how to call this, but they're coming up on 10 minutes to go, so they're going to be having a box soon.
Yeah, 15 minutes on the clock right now. 16. Sorry, that was my mistake. As now we've just gone to 15:55. We're looking at about 8 laps to go, maybe 7.
Yeah, I do apologize. The clock on the broadcast is currently frozen. Yeah. We are working on that technical matters at this time, but you do have 15.5 minutes left on this session.
Yeah. And, I mean, battle is basically on right now. I mean, Challoner and Janney, I know we said earlier that they kind of have to do what the other one wasn't. But I think at this point, they just, like, if one comes in, the other one has to follow. And look at Janney getting a little bit squiggly coming out of turn 7. Or
Oh, Lane's in, and so's Crosgrove, the two teammates. Do you see Janny in soon? Janny's got to do something different. Well, he doesn't have to. He could stay out longer than Challoner since he's got the draft and could use it to close in. I would get as close as I can and then pull it on in and see what I can do in the next lap.
Yeah, try your best, see what happens.
I mean, if you get a good pit stop, you're jumping them.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't imagine either of these guys are gonna. I mean, most of these guys gotta have this deal down to a science.
As David Schofield's down as well. But Fanning is out just ahead of Cody Crosgrove, who's fourth. There's going to be a battle there. Steve Lane is coming out, and as he's coming out, Matt Kingsbury cruises on by with Vincent Laherbier right behind him. So big shuffle in the pit stops. And we have a couple battles on our hand, including that one for the race lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard to avoid that one. I mean, Kevin Fanning has been showing such a dominant performance right now in the AM category, the pro category is really where we've been focusing on. I mean, it's just any second now as the leaders are coming out of the end of a mid. They're about to come past the pit lane. Are they going to come in? No, they're going to stay out again. No, Jenny goes in. Jenny's in.
I would have thought he would have tried to close it a little early, but he might think this is his only chance. And when I tell you that was a good pit entry, that is the fastest pit entry I have seen at this track.
Yeah, I mean
that was imperfect. His pit entry was 7 seconds faster than some of the other drivers. That was the fastest lap of the race, was his pit in lap. That was as fast as his qualifying lap.
Really? Oh my, you're right. Wait, no, that's Christian. Never mind.
By 2/10, he did a 2:04 earlier, I think, 2:04.9, and this was a 2:04.7.
That was actually his fastest lap of the race. That might have been the race-winning move. If Challoner can't replicate that, then he will not win this race, I don't think. He spent 20 minutes trying to get around Jenny to start out, so unless he's been saving tires better than Jenny has, then it's going to be really tough. And
we're going to find out here. Challoner is going to have to box at some point. If I'm Challoner, I'm probably going to stay out as long as I can. Take advantage of this clean track. Try to run as fast laps as you can, and try to build that gap to Michael Janney. Because if you pit, you're doing the exact same thing as him. Unless you think you don't have the pace to outrun him, then you want to pit and try to cover that small gap that you did have and see if you can come out level with him. Now, that being said, Janney spent a couple seconds in the pit box there. I don't know if he added fuel. If Challoner doesn't add anything, that's going to be a shorter pit stop. Or maybe Challoner's got to add a lot. We don't know.
It's all about the math here. If you got the math right, then you're set up. But if you didn't, then you're gonna lose some time.
Challoner goes by, and there's a smoke cloud on the outside of the Hockenheim section. Somebody before him went off that track. It might have been
Ben Monnier.
He was battling with Cody Crosgrove, so let's go find out. Yeah, it was Cody Crosgrove at a little spin, Cody Crosgrove, Cody Erdman. Nothing major, just a little spin there.
And to add real quick here, as Christian Challoner comes in, Michael Janney stopped with 10.7 seconds. Challoner with a very fast pit entry, too. Slowing it up in time, he's going to meet up with a
2:05 too. So half a second slower, but he definitely had half a second on Janney boxing in. So we're going to see.
Down the time it's going to take for him to pit.
Janney's coming through the S's. He's coming into the last sector of the corner right now.
Yeah, here comes
Challoner to his 19. Box. Okay, he stopped. Challoner
he's taking a minute.
Corner.
Janney out of the final corner onto the straightaway.
And it's going to be close. He's going to have the speed advantage. And
here comes Challoner. They're going to be side by side coming up the hill.
I think Challoner's going to have the line, and that's going to help him. So good defense by Challoner. But man, that's close. If he stayed out there another lap, it could have been anyone's game.
Even just another second. Yeah, Challoner with a 9.8. So get that extra second he lost going into the pits, he quickly gained back.
Yeah, a really good job by Challoner to recognize that Janney was maybe a little. Janney was quick enough to close that gap and to respond right away. So now he can do the defending with his car rather than just lap times.
Yeah, indeed he can. It's just all. I mean, now it's no longer a strategy race. It's a driver's race.
Three-way battle, 4P 5 through 7. Curtis Critchley in P5 right now. Vincent RBA 6. Matt Kingsbury 7. And just off the back of that train is Steve Lane for 8th and Scott Corbin for 9th. So that is probably the closest train of cars on the track. I don't know if Curtis is pitted. I thought he pitted early, so he just pitted. And we know Vince and Matt have. So Curtis jumping up the field to P5.
Yeah, and Curtis in that Team Watson racing machine, we really haven't talked about him that much though.
No, I think I said early on I thought his tires had worn off. He was really slowing down, but he's picked up the pace now. Maybe he didn't have to do as much in pit lane as some of the other guys did. Matt Kingsbury's pit lap was a I'm not seeing it, 2:37 apparently, and Curtis's was a 2:29, so that's a much faster time.
And speaking of Challenger and Janny real quick, Janny has got right back up to the bumper of Challenger now as they come through turn 19. This battle is back on. This is probably probably just about the same amount of closest we've had all race, but that does not mean by any means it is any more or less intense. Obviously, it's probably more intense because we only have 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Call it 5 laps to go.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but the fact that these guys 3 weeks in a row now, 3 races in a row, have run nose to tail this close, it's just incredible. It just speaks to the quality of driving of both of them and the level of competition we have here in this series. I couldn't tell you who's going to win this championship.
Yeah, it's truly a toss-up. I mean, right now it's already going into favor to Michael Janney, 20 points over.
Oh, a mistake from Janney.
Oh, as I'm saying, yeah, that's if he can't get that back, that's going to cost him. That's going to allow Challenger, as they run right now, he would be back 10 points behind the leader. Basically putting him a podium position away from taking the points lead.
Yeah, and if they keep trading wins, I mean, Challenger needs to get a win on the board to really gain back up. So this puts him back in contention if he can take the win here. And Mike, he was your pick for this one. Ironically, no one chose Michael Janney. I chose Kevin Fanning. Kevin, I think you could still do it, my guy.
I don't know if anybody wants to who want to do a net attack on both Janney and Christian, see if we can get Kevin up and win his first race. That'd be beautiful. Looking at Herbie A and Kingsbury. And just in front of them, Curtis Critchley, obviously, in that, I keep saying the TWR machine, but yeah, all 3 of these guys in a pretty tight battle. Top 5 is something that's tough to get in this series, and I think all 3 of these guys would be happy with it.
I know I would be.
Yeah.
Last year I would have taken one of those. I don't know if the grid has gotten tougher, easier, or what, but...
No, you've just gotten worse.
Yeah, I was not getting those last year, and I think it's mostly the same guys out there.
There's Janney and Challenger again on your screen. Janney, if you see him come through the corners, he's really just trying to get everything out of his car. You'll see him as he comes through comes out of the corner. He's almost sliding. He's just basically fighting. He's on the edge of grip and of losing it.
So Mike, I was just looking at the data here, and Michael Janney's stop was 10.7, Challenger's 9.8, Curtis Critchley's stop was 2.5 seconds. So 2 options: either Curtis underfueled his car, or Curtis did not add as much fuel and is fine. That's the strategy I would have taken. Making up 8 seconds on track is hard. I don't care how many laps, how much time you save over the course of laps. If you're saving 0.2 over 25 laps, that is what?
Not
5
enough.
seconds? So 5 seconds. I would rather take the 8 seconds that I'm going to save in the pit stop. But you have to think about it in different ways. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
It's always so. For guy, I mean, obviously we're all racing enthusiasts here. I think everybody here in the audience and in the booth, obviously. But for non-racing enthusiasts, it's always interesting when I'm talking to them about they're always shocked at 24-hour long races or something. When I talk about Daytona, it's it comes down to seconds. It's you wouldn't think it would be, but it's always just you're always just trying to optimize as much as possible because the little bits are what count.
Just curious, anybody in the broadcast, what do you guys think of this race so far? Do you think Michael Janney can take back this lead from Christian Challenger with just, I believe it's 5 minutes remaining here?
No.
You're not the audience, Mike. You're a commentator. I was asking.
Yeah, I was actually about to go see. I was gonna go see. We really haven't checked in Twitchland today at all. I mean, we don't have Petey here or anybody to really take a look at it. I think it's been pretty quiet. I was looking back and forth there for about 20 minutes. It's really nothing. Nothing showing up. So like, if you're out there, say hi. Tell us who you think is gonna win. It's gonna be. Hi, Chad. Lost my train of thought.
I don't know. I don't know. I really can't call it even with just a few minutes remaining.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I think it's hard to
call it.
I think it's hard to bet against Challoner right now. He does have a pretty decent lead now, and it's going to take him. I mean, Gianni's is very quick. He's probably the faster car here, but it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to be the one to say that Michael Janney's not winning this? Because I don't.
Yeah.
That's a pretty brave move if you're doing that.
It's a tough world we live in as commentators.
Yeah, I'm not making that call.
We have to get.
What I do know is the Union Jack is currently in the lead of this race.
Jenny should be, really, he really should be fighting it. We're at Circuit of the Americas, and we're gonna let Christian win.
A Brit in a McLaren, a British car at an American track.
I can't believe this.
Embarrassing. Michael, you need to change your number to number 76, my friend.
Yeah.
Wear an American flag.
This just got personal. It's round 3.
Peter Houston is in the chat. He says that Challoner has it now. He can defend in a few corners without risking his tires at this point. Good point, Peter. I agree. Peter, when are we going to see you back out on the grid, my friend?
Yeah, we miss you, Peter. Don't forget, Peter. Wait, is Peter Peter is the reason that Challoner lost his streak here, I think, right?
I don't know if I would blame Peter, but
I wouldn't blame him either. But
Peter was definitely the most.
He was involved in it.
Peter was definitely the hardest GT3 to pass in my expance driving the GT3.
Maybe I remember. Okay, so I don't know if he was the one directly who caused it, as we're looking for a battle side by side for fifth, or they were. But they definitely.
Yeah, they still are. There's a 3-way battle. We got Critchley and Laherbier with Matt Kingsbury following up. Could get interesting. Personally, I want to see the shark bite again. And bite's a nice way of saying, I guess, not wreck them, but like I want to see some rubbing and door banging, boys. Let's do it.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's take a. I mean, yeah, we're gonna just 2 to go right now. We're gonna be taking the white flag this lap.
It's certainly an interesting cockpit. If you want to ride along with Matt Kingsbury, he brakes a lot later than that BMW. That gyro camera, though, when he hits the curbs, is really rocking. Oh boy.
We are taking a ride along with him up turn 1. You can see just how tall that climb is.
He's using those curbs, man. All of them.
He takes advantage of every inch of the track. And almost doesn't pay off for him there.
Watch the momentum change through the S's, you guys. This is like just incredible. You just quick turn left, dab of the brake, quick turn right. Oh my gosh.
And we got that live. Look at that mistake there by the team. Watt Spin Racing taken after the team owner.
We got a gamer down. Curtis, your motor is still working, my friend, and that is about all I can say about it. That thing has quite a lot of damage on it. To the point, it looked okay. Now it has a crinkled hood and side pod.
Yeah. Okay, I do want to point out quickly to Peter Houston in chat. Yeah, I probably just got my information wrong. It's been like what, 7 months or something. I know there was another BMW involved. It might not have been you, so I don't want to slander you here. So I'll wait. But we are about to take the white flag right now. There's Christian Challoner coming across the line into turn 1. Sorry about that. I was too busy apologizing. Here we are coming down turn 1 into turn 2. Challoner with the advantage. He was actually a 10th faster that lap versus Gianni. Coming into turn 3 and the S's.
Yeah, it's 0.8 of a second, Mike. I don't know if Gianni's got that much pace in the car without a mistake from Challoner. And we were just speaking about Houston, Peter Houston. I do remember a race at Road Atlanta where Peter was on track. Not Road Atlanta. Mid Ohio. I remember some controversy. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. But yeah, we gotta focus
we
on
got,
we got
we
call
got
this
James
the end of
Watson
this
in the
race.
trend rooting for his boy.
I think he just showed up a little bit too late.
Yeah, we're still looking at a battle. Curtis has caught back up to the back of Scott as well. Oh, there's nearly contact there. So besides this battle for the race lead, still some stuff going on.
Look at them. I think we've just seen you guys didn't see it on the screen, but there, Christian Chauner was able to hold off Jenny coming down the back stretch. That was Jenny's probably last chance, and unless he's gonna send it in on the inside the oven mitt. He's close. Oh, he's going for it. Not quite.
Oh, he thought about it.
He thought, but sometimes thoughts don't matter. He's fat. I think he's fast.
Well, he was waiting for a mistake. He was definitely waiting for a mistake. He wanted to close in, maybe get a little bit out of it. There's no real passing opportunities left.
Yeah,
so,
I think this might be it, unless he wants to send it into turn 20.
He's not sending it, but if owner catches a curb wrong and he's in there hot, maybe.
And there we go, coming out of turn 20. Christian Chauner, almost redemption from 2 seasons ago. He is going to win here.
P3. Cody Cosgrove has doored Kevin Fanning at the hairpin. That is definitely a move or B-move situation. I say Cody Cosgrove has doored him, but I can't really place too much blame on either driver. Just some hard racing, and they're still battling. There's smoke ahead of them. I don't know what happened. Well, my boy Kevin looking like he's going to miss out on the podium here. There is a battle behind for P5 between Matt Kingsbury.
Kevin Fanning goes way off the track, coming out of it.
And there's side for P5.
And then Cody Cosgrove, real quick. Cody Cosgrove is going to come out of turn 20, and he's going to come home with the M win.
RBA, Kingsbury around. That's going to cost him positions.
And here coming out of turn 20. These are all the last guys coming across the line. Let's take a look at them now. There's Vincent RBA. Able to hold him off. Matt Kingsbury is going to come home in front of Steve Lane, Scott Corbin, and Curtis Critchley is going to round out your top 9. David Schofield is going to round out the top 10.
Wow, what a race. My gosh. I don't think we had a break.
And now we're going to see if we can get those top 3 in the booth, in the booth for a little bit of a post-race interview. How about that, Ray?
Sure thing.
Oh, and let's talk about real quick Mike McCullen making his debut. A bit of a figure in the IndyCar iRacing community. In the IndyCar community, yeah. I think he's very involved in RAL. That's how I know him. He's a very talented driver. Decent debut here. Obviously needs a little bit of work in the car, but that will come around to him. He's very, very talented. Now let me see if we can get these guys into the booth.
Well, good job, Mike. I don't think I've ever met Mike. His name did look familiar, so maybe we've crossed paths. I do a lot of IndyCar, but I don't know him firsthand. I'm sure he's a good guy if you guys are vouching for him. I did see him in TNT. That is our producer, Chad Irvine, reminding me that we raced together in TNT.
All right, there we go. We can get our 3rd place finisher, Cody Cosgrove, in the booth. I can't move, people. There we go. Cody Cosgrove come home with the M win and the third place finish in a bit of a hectic last lap battle. How about you take us through that race there, friend?
Oh, well, it went pretty good. I felt pretty comfortable. I was a little sketchy at first, but I got my rhythm, and then I just slowly started reeling Kevin in, and then last lap I got a good run on the backstretch, and I got him on that last corner, and that was it. But yeah, other than that, it was a good race.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you gotta be happy for your team. Also did pretty well though. The Livewire Sim Sports, they such a strong run for them. Jenny finishing second, you finishing third. It was Steve Lane finishing 7th. How do you guys feel about that going into the team championship?
We feel awesome. Like we just want to keep doing consistent finishes like this, and hopefully keep the lead going.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. How about coming up a couple weeks now? We have some bit of variance in tracks. I guess we got what do we have next? We got Indy GP, Lime Rock, Barber, Mount Panorama. How are you looking forward to those next 4 races? And do you think the Porsche is going to be well suited to them?
I'm not too sure about the next one with the Porsche, but I'm definitely looking forward to Canadian Tire Motorsports. That's my hometown track, so hopefully I do good there.
Yeah, and I guess just to wrap it up, is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Any sponsors, family, yeah, etc. Us. We'll take the thank yous.
Yeah,
Us.
I would like to thank Livewire Sim Sports, Sim Experience, and like again, I gotta thank Michael Janey for helping me out with pointers and whatnot. And also you guys, like you guys put on a hell of a show. So
Oh, we are always
Oh,
up here to please.
thank you. You're so kind. We didn't even ask for it. Anyway, that's Cody Cosgrove, your AM class winner and the 3rd place overall. Next, we're gonna pull in our 2nd place finisher and the runner-up and the points leader. You wear a lot of titles here, Michael Jenny, but unfortunately, you do not get to wear the title of race winner tonight. Take us through that race.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. That was such a fun race, honestly. A lot of COTA is one of those tracks where it's pretty controversial. You either like it or you hate it. But I mean, that was the perfect race for me, at least. I mean, Red Bull Ring and Barcelona were cool, but like, I don't know, like there was actually a lot of like sway between us. I mean, ultimately, I think Christian drove better tonight, and I mean, he got the better pit stop off. He got the extra lap of fuel. He just played it smarter. I got kind of suckered because I knew that he was going to fuel save behind me. So when he went for the pass, I was like, all right, you know what? I'll fuel save, stay behind him. Maybe I can equalize it. But I was just marginally too short coming up to that line. I was just under a lap. So I mean, if I had fuel saved a little bit more, played it smarter, probably would have been a different position. But yeah, it is what it is. Such a blast. Yeah, honestly, I think that was better than the other 2 rounds, in my opinion, at least.
A lot of
Yeah,
fun up here to watch.
I don't know, Ray, you want to take the second half of it? We'll kind of do this 50-50.
Sure.
There you go.
Michael, I do have a question for you, Michael.
Yes.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to answer it. Hopefully you can, because you were driving the car. Why did you guys have to add fuel?
Our setups are tuned to 90 liters, so if we add more than 90 liters, you change the whole setup. So like Christian and I both agreed, we're like, yeah, we're just gonna keep it on 90 liters like normal, or 98 for the McLaren.
Fair
That
enough.
way we were on the same pace and stuff, and there's no cheeky stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
makes total sense, because we did see Curtis Critchley pulled an audible and only had a 2.5-second stop to your guys' about 10. So yeah, so I mean, that was just a question that we were wondering up here in the booth, but that makes sense, and it was a great battle. I mean, the whole evening. So thank you.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, like I said, I think it was a marginal pit stop of a difference between who won that race. But yeah, I mean, this car was really hard to drive around here, so I can't imagine what it was like in the McLaren. So props to Christian because yeah. Oh, and I have to add that next week when the tire model changes, he is going to kick my ass because he's been driving that new tire model for a while. So I basically have a day to not only figure out how to change the setup to make it feel good, but then also understand the tire model. And I wouldn't be surprised if Christian wins by like 20 seconds next week. I'm be completely honest with you guys. So
Okay, are all the tire models changing next week? I think IndyCar is too.
yeah, I think so. A lot of them are
Which
getting updates.
is interesting, because really hoping it wouldn't, because I have a setup built for it already. But oh well. All right, Michael, who do you got to thank for this one?
So yeah, as always, family and everyone who sits in Twitch land, sorry, and supports me. Livewire Sim Sport and Drive Dead Racing for giving me the cool split livery this season, and yeah, you guys again for doing the podcast. It's always fun. It's always great to go back and watch it, honestly.
Oh, it was a good one. We kept it real entertaining.
Oh yeah. Bit of amateur hour, but it was good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to it. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next week.
Yeah. So
Thank
that's
you, Michael.
Oh, go ahead, Ray.
We've got Christian Challoner here. Christian, a much needed race win. We know the first two went to Michael, and you got to start pulling them back at some point, and you did that handedly today. One of the most entertaining battles probably of the season. A lot of lead changes between the two of you guys. Walk us through that first move, the first time you passed Michael Janney.
Yeah, I mean, the first time was, I think it was coming out of the hairpin onto the backstretch. He made a slight mistake, and I was just about close to different. Honestly, I thought it was kind of just gonna be like an exploration type move because I didn't think I was actually gonna pull it off. So I was just wondering if I actually could get alongside him for kind of later in the race, but I mean, I was there, and I knew he was kind of a little bit weak under the brakes as well into kind of the high speed stops. So I just thought, yeah, I'll see if I can pull it off, and I did. And yeah, I was honestly quite surprised to be able to stay ahead of him as well. He had that kind of attack in the same place. Later on, I was able to hold it on the outside, and I actually really good in lap, not so great out lap. Made a slight mistake in the corner that was kind of my biggest advantage, and he was right back there. So yeah, always a fun battle with Michael. But I feel like this week is actually the first time I've honestly had good enough pace to really challenge him. I mean, Barcelona I had pole, but I felt like he could have got a better lap than he did. And then in the race, I was pretty certain he was going to win. So I wasn't too surprised. I was disappointed to be as far back as I was, but I wasn't too surprised that he beat me. Red Bull Ring was similar kind of deal. I felt like he was quicker than me the whole time, but I was going to play that strategy deal until I made a mistake in the stop and lost all that advantage. So, yeah, those were kind of rough, but it felt like I made a step at Red Bull, and then obviously here, again, like I say, this is the first time I feel like I've actually been able to fight with him on equal pace, and obviously we've got a bunch of changes coming next time, so that's going to make it really, really interesting, and I actually feel like that might kind of go a little bit more my way, because that's kind of been playing against me a little bit as well this season. New tires obviously been announced now, so I can talk about that a little bit. But yeah, having to jump back and forth between old and new, it's different enough, I would say, that there's relearn every time. And yeah, that's made it difficult. And I'm hoping that kind of with that going away and us all being on the same page, yeah, it'll be a bit easier for me for the rest of the season.
Well, we certainly don't want it to be easier because this is fun to watch. I do have a couple questions, Christian. One, we watched Michael Janney run a very shallow line into the hairpins. I'm going to take a guess that was a defensive move that suited the Porsche to defend against your better brakes. Do you agree on that? And do you see the characteristics of the cars sort of in line with what we were just saying there, changing with this new tire model?
Yeah, so in honesty, there's been a couple of BOP related things, especially related to the Porsche, that I've been a little bit unhappy with, I have to say. Especially out of slow speed corners, obviously rear engines and whatnot, so it does have a lot of traction, and the expectation is it's very, very good out of slow speed corners and whatnot in that sense. But the thing that I've kind of been a little bit unhappy with is the straight line performance has been stronger. The direction that people took in setups and whatnot has made the straight line performance a bit stronger than I was kind of wanting it to be. So expect that to be kind of curtailed back just a little bit. I mean, it's still going to be a quick car. Obviously, like my goal is to balance them all, but just that one particular aspect I've seen in quite a lot of racing, and obviously with against Michael here as well, that it looks strong in that sense. So I expect that to be trimmed back just a little bit. Porsche isn't going to be like extremely slow down the straights or anything like that. It's just not going to be quite as rapid. And yeah, I mean that's kind of one of the bigger changes, if I'm totally honest. But in
Very
terms of how
nice.
he was running that line, I mean, I was actually a bit surprised, and it's caught me out here before at COTA. If anybody remembers the AM race back when I was in the BMW, and I think it was Russell Clayson. Me and him got together in like the slow speed section where I was running this big arc and he was kind of running these diamonds a bit like Michael was today. And we just got together, and I was kind of wary that might happen again here, but Thankfully, it didn't. And yeah, I feel like that diamond line that he was doing though did contribute to why he struggled with rear tires. So that's kind of why I didn't start copying it.
All
Was
right.
that, well, real quick, was that what we were talking about on the broadcast there about that incident? Is that do we okay? So that's what it was. All right. So Peter Houston, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I messed up. All right. Yeah, there you go. Anybody to thank, Christian? Anybody? Any sponsors? The team. Any of that.
I mean, just a big shout out to you guys as always for doing the broadcast. Everybody who runs the league and Michael for the great battle as always. It's kind of a weekly thing, and yeah, honestly, like I said, surprising to be as strong as I was. So yeah, hopefully that continues. And I'm kind of gonna give a shout out to updates and whatnot if anybody is watching and kind of is interested in GT3s. Yeah, so if you haven't seen this tire update coming next week, it's gonna change things up just a little bit. The driving feeling is definitely improved in my opinion, and that's kind of the feedback we've had from people who will remain anonymous as well. So that's a good deal. And yeah, definitely check it out.
All right, there. That's Christian Challenger, our race winner. Closes up the points gap in between him and Mike Janney. Obviously, thank you very much for Christian for giving us that interview. He's already gone. Yeah, I guess it's Ray. If you want to say anything closing up, just let's wrap this up a little bit.
Yeah, what a race. Lots of strategy going into this, when to pit, when not to pit. We saw some varying strategy in that regards. Just a great finish between Michael and Christian. As always, great battle throughout. We had other battles. I can't wait for the next one. Indy.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely a very exciting race. You guys will be able to catch that next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 8:30 Eastern on the Nitro Circus Twitch channel. I think it's time that we say goodbye. It's 10 p.m. now. We've had an amazing race tonight. I'm not even supposed to be doing this, but let's do it anyway. For Ray Kingsbury, Chad Irvine, our producer, and me, Michael Barry, thank you from everybody here at NASA and Nitro Circus. Thank you for them for hosting us. Thank you to Penguin RC, Sim Racer Coin, Seth Rawls for sponsoring this race, and thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week.